Hi everyone, Nikki Nivison, Conservation Educator here at the Salado Wildlife Education Center. Pollen is in the air. That's right, it's springtime in the bluegrass. The birds are chirping, the flowers are blooming, and the bees are buzzing. Which brings us to our next chapter of our Tales and Tales summer reading program about my favorite creatures, pollinators. Now, a pollinator is any animal that helps a flowering plant pollinate, which can be bees, butterflies, flies, wasps, and many other creatures, which is great. Pollinators are awesome. Which brings us to our first book we're going to talk about, The Magic School Bus, Butterfly Battle by Nancy White. It talks about Miss Frizzle and her class. They go on a field trip, and as if you've read a Magic School Bus book before, they get into all kinds of fun stuff where they actually get turned into, that's right, butterflies. As they navigate their new wings, they discover that pollinators don't have an easy life, and they have to go through many challenges in their life cycle. First things first, they have to find the perfect habitat for them. Habitat, you have to have your shelter, you have to have a water source nearby, but most importantly for pollinators especially, you have to have your flowers or a food source, and some flowers are called host plants, which is where they lay their eggs. The class gets turned into monarch butterflies, and if you've ever watched a pollinator video from Salado before, you know monarchs have to have a host plant of milkweed. So it's very important that they find the perfect, ideal habitat for pollinators. Now in this book also, they realize that, okay, we have to find the perfect habitat, but at the same time, they have to face challenges like predators, along with weather and climate changes. So if weather comes in crazy, butterflies, they get grounded, they can't fly. And they also have to deal with human impacts like insecticides and pesticides, which is not very good. So as the class flies and goes through their day and their field trip trying to find the perfect place to be, they realize that being a pollinator is a much harder job. Another book that talks about the challenges pollinators face is The Flight of a Honeybee by Raymond Huber. This book, you follow the honeybee named Scout on her adventure to find the perfect place to find food so she can bring it back to her colony and tell all the other bees where the good food sources is. Like these flowers back here, they're great for honeybees. Now Scout, she has to face different things as well, just like there's a storm that comes in that grounds her. She can't fly in that storm. She also has to face a predatory wasp. And her friends in her colony, they help her out. So these two books are great to learn about pollinators in general. If you want to help your local pollinators in the state of Kentucky or wherever you may be, you can plant a beautiful pollinator habitat with different flowers. Make sure you have host plants along with the nectaring plants for their food. Make sure they have somewhere to shelter along with a water source. You can also join Kentucky Wild or have your parents join so you can learn more about our non-game species and what you can do to help your pollinators. Now on your next adventure outside, keep your eyes out and maybe listen. You might hear a bumblebee buzzing around, or you might just see a float of a butterfly. Have a great day.